Hello everyone, this is a review of chapter 2.2, Reflections. We will be going over how to reflect a shape across the x-axis, the y-axis, and so forth. You will be responsible for copying all of these questions down and answering them. All right, let's start out. Question number one. First of all, let's find out which one is the x-axis. If you have different color pens, this would be very beneficial for you today. So that is my x-axis, and in blue is my y-axis, okay? Just so that we know we are clear. There are two ways to do this. The fast and quick way, it doesn't work all the time, but it is to count. Remember, we have to label our L prime, G prime, and Q prime. So which one is our x-axis, the red one or the blue one? It is the red one. So that means we want to rotate our shape across the red line. So I'm just going to do my easy counting. So here's one spot. Here's another spot. How far is L from the red line? It's two spots. So I'm going to count 1, 2, and that's where my L prime would be. All right, let's count my G spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right there. This would be G prime. And then my Q, how far is it from the red line? Here's 1. So then 1 would be right there. This is my new, oops, let's do that one big. Nice. Like that. And there we go. We have our new shape. All right, this is one way to do it. Another way to do it would be, and I will call this maybe even the correct way, is to show all of your work. Well, how do we show all of our work? We want to go across the x-axis. Which one is that? Well, here's the formula for the x-axis, x and negative y. So first thing we want to do, let's label our points. So we have point L, which is 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We have point G, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4. And then we have point Q, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Point Q, which is 4 and 1. Now I'm going to label my x and y. Here's my x and y, x and y, x and y. Now we want to add our formula, which is x negative y. So I'm going to put x negative y, x negative y, x negative y. All right, and now for my x, I'm going to put a parenthesis. For my y, I'm going to put a parenthesis. But notice I have, what do I have here? I have a negative sign. I'm going to put that on the outside. Here's another one. Parentheses for my letters, and then put your sign on the outside. Parentheses for the letters, and then negative on the outside. Now we just need to plug in our numbers. 1 and 2, which makes that 1 and negative 2. I have 3 and 4, which makes that 3 and negative 4. Then I have 4 and 1, which makes that 4 and negative 1. So now if I plot these numbers, let's see. I got 1 and negative 2. Let's erase the originals. 1 and negative 2. I got 3, 1, 2, 3, and negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have 4. Oh, that was negative 1. So that would make that double negative, which would make that positive 1. Yep, see? I made a simple mistake too. So 4 and 1, which would put that right there. And if we draw our nice straight lines, we will have our other shape. Now, a lot of the questions I begin is, Mr. Guru, I don't know how to do this. I'm getting lost. If you don't do all of this right here, right, it's like, that's too much. If you don't do this, you will get lost. Notice, honestly, it's not that much. All I did is I labeled my points. Let's make that smaller. I labeled my points, x and y. I put my coordinates. I then labeled my new formula. I then plugged in my numbers into the formula, and then I got my answer. Let's do it again for question number 2. So this time it says we want to reflect y equals 3. Well, let's find out where is y. Let's find out with the y line. Well, here's my y. And where is 3? 1, 2, here is 3. So all I need to do now is move my points just like they would be around the y. So let's see. How far is this point point right here, this X from the red line. It's 2 spots, 1, 2. Means I got to move this over here twice. So this is my new X prime. How far is my U? From there, it's 2 points. So that would be, oh, that would be right there, U. And how far is L? Well, it'll be right there, L prime. So it looks like it's right on top of each other. Let's draw our shape. Notice we have our new shape, y equals 3. All right, the only way to do these specific ones is to do the actual counting, so that's going to save yourself some steps. All right, let's do the next one. Y equals 1. Let's find where where's our y line? Here is our y line. Where is the number 1? Well, that is right there. So that means we just need to draw a line at y equals 1, which would be right there. So all we need to do now is let's count our points. Let's see how far they are. So we have, that's 1 spot away. So it means this should also be 1 spot away. So that's my y prime. This would be my I prime, right? Because it's just 1 spot away. That's 1 spot away. How far is my t from there? That's 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. So that means my dot would be right there. That's t prime. All I need to do now is connect my shape. And there we go. We have our new shape. Let's try another one. This one says across the x-axis. Well, let's see. What is the formula for the x-axis? It's x minus y. So I'm just going to write it over here so I don't forget x. Oops. It's x and minus y. So let's do it the correct way to do this, all right? So let's show all of our steps because you're going to need this for 2.3. So I have the letter z, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, and 3. I have the letter d. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 and 4. I then have my m, which is 3 and 0. Which is 3 and 0. Then I have my p, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and negative 1. So letter p is 4 and negative 1. Let's label our points, x and y, x and y. All right, let's label our formula, which is x and negative y. All right, and don't forget for our letters, we get parentheses and then the the sign goes on the outside. So we have parentheses, sign on the outside, parentheses, sign on the outside, parentheses, sign on the outside, parentheses, sign on the outside. Now let's just plug in our numbers. 3 and 3, which gives me 3 and negative 3. I have 5 and 4, which gives me 5 and negative 4. 3, oops, parentheses on the outside. 3 and 0. 0 can't be negative, so it's just 3 and 0. Then I have 4 and negative 1. Notice I have a double negative, which makes that 4 and positive 1. All right, let's just plug in our points. So I now have 3 and negative 3, which would be right there. That's my z prime. 5 and negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4. This is my d prime. Then I have 3 and 0. That stays right there. That is my m prime. And then I have 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And that is my p prime. Now I just need to connect my shape. And there we go. We have our new shape. Again, what is the correct way to do this? Notice it didn't take me that long to set up all these steps. When you have all the information down, it doesn't take that long to set up all the steps. Okay? Let's try another one. This one says do it across the x-axis. So that's x and minus y. First thing we need to do is plot in our first point. So let's see, 2 and 2. That's right there. That's the letter T. Then I have C, which is 2 and 5. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my letter C. I have the letter Z, which is 5 and 4. Which would be right there. The letter Z. And then I have 5 and 0, which would be right there. So now I'm just going to connect my shape. Let's see. Is that right? Let's see. 5 and 4. 2, 2 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that looks about right. Okay, so now all I need to do, that's my F prime. I'm going to do this in red. First things first, our formula is right there. Let's write out our letters. So we got T, which is 2 and 2. We have C. Let's zoom in a little bit. The letter T, which is 2 and 2. We have the letter C, which is 2 and 5. We have the letter Z. I'm going to run out of space. 5 and 4. I'm going to do this one right here. And I have the letter F, which is 5 and 0. Now let's just label X and Y, X and Y, X and Y, X and Y. Let's label our formula, which is X negative Y, X negative Y, X negative Y, X negative Y. Now let's put our parentheses. Remember, parentheses and sign goes on the outside. Parentheses, sign on the outside. All right, let's plug in our numbers. We now have, do this in red, 2 and 2, which makes that 2, negative 2. We have 2 and 5, which makes that 2 and negative 5. We have 5 and 4. 5 and 0. 0 can't be negative, so that just stays the same. Now we just got to plug in our numbers for our reflection across the X. So 2 and negative 2, which will put that right there. That is letter T prime. We have 2 and negative 5, which would be right there. That's our C prime. We have Z, which is 5 and negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is our Z prime. And then we have F prime, which would be 5 and 0, which stays right there. All we need to do now is connect our shape, and we should be good to go. And there we go. We just did our reflection. Now, again, notice the easiest way to do this is to show all your work. Trying to skip steps and stuff like that is not going to help you. All right, let's move on to the next one. Same steps. What you want to do is first, let's find our, here we go. We have y equals negative 2. Well, let's find our y line. Here's my y line. Where is negative 2? Well, that is right there. So let's draw a line across that y line, which is like this. All right, cool. Now, let's plug in our original point. We're going to do this in blue. So we have negative 1 and 5. So negative 1 and negative 5. 1, 2, 3. That's right here. We have negative 1 and negative 4. Should be right there. We have 1 and negative 2. So 1 and negative 2, which is right there. And then we have C, which is 3 and negative 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here is our shape. Let's connect all the points. There we go. Let's label really quickly. We have H, M, the letter B, and then the letter C. All right, what are we supposed to do? Same steps as we've been doing before. Let's label. We have our H, which is negative 1 and negative 5. We have the letter M, which is negative 1 and negative 4. We have the letter B, which is 1 and negative 2. Do I have enough room? Yep, I do. Then we have C, which is 3 and negative 3. Let's label again. Here's X, Y, X. Oh, no, remember, we can't do this. We can't do it this step. This way, all we need to do is count. Right? So all we need to do here is count. How far is this letter C from this red line? It's 1 dot. Right? If I count just 1 dot, there you go. That's 1 dot. This is my C prime. B will stay the same because it's right on that red line. So I will call that B prime. How far is the letter M from the red line? 1, 2. So I got to count up 1, 2. 1, 2. That's right there. That would be M prime. How far is H? 1, 2, 3. I just got to count 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So that is right there. I have H prime. Now I just need to connect my shape. And there we go. We just did a reflection on y equals negative 2. All right, let's go on to the next page. All right, for this section, we need to solve questions 7 through 14. So I took the time to write these on graph paper, specifically these ones right here, because we don't have any graphs for us. So I'm just going to flip the page. I recommend you do the same. Just write these on a graph paper and then we can move forward. So here we go. Here's question number 7. It says we need to reflect across the x-axis. So this one's across the x. Oops, let's not put an equal sign. X-axis. If you guys forgot the formula, it's x and negative y. All right, so first things first, we need to have a graph, right? So I'm just going to draw a quick graph right here. All right, so now that I have a graph, don't forget to, let's draw our arrows. And we have X line and Y. That's supposed to be an arrow, not a Z. There we go. All right, so let's label our points. I'm going to do this in red. So I have 1, negative 1. That's point K. I have point N, which is 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is my letter N. I have point Q, which is 4, negative 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here's my letter N. Or sorry, letter Q. All right, so my formula was X and negative Q. Let's draw this shape out. Here we go. So we have to flip this across the x-axis. So what is that going to look like? First steps first, let's label all of our numbers. So I have K, 1 and negative 1. I have the letter N, which is 4 and 0. And then I have the letter Q, which is 4 and negative 4. All right, let's label X, Y, X, Y, X, and Y. Now let's put in our formula, which is X and negative Y, X and negative Y, X and negative Y. All right, so don't forget, these get parentheses, sign on the outside, letters get parentheses, signs go on the outside, parentheses, and then sign goes on the outside. Now let's just plug in our numbers. I'm going to do that with blue. So I have 1 and negative 1, which will make this 1, and that's a double negative, so positive 1. 4 and 0. 0 cannot be positive or negative, so just 4 and 0. 4 and negative 4, which makes that a double negative, so that's 4 and 4. So now let's just plot our numbers. I have 1 and 1, which would be K prime. I have 4 and 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's here. That's N prime. And then I have 4 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there, and that is Q prime. Now let's just draw our shape. And here we go. We now have a perfect reflection across the x-axis. Again, notice, what did it take for me to solve this answer was to do the actual steps and formula. Otherwise, you're going to struggle just like we've been struggling. Doing it in your head is not going to help at all. All right. Let's do number 8, and that says across y equals negative 1. These ones are my favorite. Why? Because all you need to do is do a little bit of counting. So let's draw our graph first. So we have, I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to draw a line there. Don't forget to add your arrows. Don't forget to label X and Y. I don't know why that one always looks like a Z. All right, Y. Okay, now let's plug in our points. I'm going to do that in the color red. So I have negative 3 and negative 5. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Oops, my bad. Should give myself more space. That's letter R. Then I have negative 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please give yourself more space, not like Mr. Crew. And so I now have V, negative 2, negative 1. Just right there. Then I have E, which is 0 and negative 4. 1, 2, 3. And that's right there, my letter E. Okay, let's draw our shape. Boom, 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 boom. So it kind of looks something like that. And now it says we are going to do y, oops, y equals negative 1. Well, let's find our y line. So I'm just going to draw this in a nice thick. So this is y, right? Where is negative 1 on the y line? That is right there, right? So that's my new y line. That doesn't look good. Let's draw a nice straight line. There we go. So this is my new line. Okay, that's my new line. Now I just need to count some numbers. I'm going to do that in the color blue. How far is N from that purple line? 1 spot, so that would be 1 spot there. How far is this from the purple line? So that would be 2 spots. So that would be 2 spots right there. Here's my E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I don't ran out of space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, did I do this right? Yeah. Okay, last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be right there. All right, so now I just need to connect my lines, my points. And there we go. We have our shape. Last thing, please don't forget to label, just like I forgot to label. So this would be N prime, this is V prime, this is E prime, and then this would be R prime. Also leave yourself enough space. I don't want you guys to run over just like I did, okay? All right. I'm gonna have to erase some of this so we can do our next question. All right, so here we go. Question number 9. Question number 9 says reflect x equals 3. X equals 3. So again, these ones are my favorite. Why? Because all we need to do is count. Let's draw our shape. Let's do that right there. Okay, now remember the formula said it was x equals 3. So let's find where's 3 on the line x. 1, 2, 3. That is right there. So we're going to draw a line like this. Boom, boom. That's our new shape. Let me draw that in red just so you guys can know. That is my x equals 3. Okay. So now that we have that, let's plug in our original points. I'm gonna do that in blue. So I have 2 and 2, which is right there. I have 2 and 5. Oops, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. And then I have 3 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 2. So it looks like it's a nice triangle. Let's connect those dots. Don't forget to label. So we have F, we have W, and then we have K. All right, so if that equals 3, all we need to do is do some counting, simple counting. Well, this letter K stays the same, right? Because it's right on the red line. There's no like number to count or to jump. How far is F from that red line? Well, it's 1 spot, so that means I just got to count 1 spot there. That's going to be my letter F. Call it F prime, K prime. How far is this W from that red line? One spot. I just got to count 1 spot over that way. That's going to make W prime. Now let's just connect our shape. Oops. Let's make it look nicer. Can we make it look nicer? There, that's better. And we have our reflection. It's right there. Last one is question number 10, and that is x equals -1. So we have x equals -1. Well, I'm gonna write it up here because I know I'm gonna run out of space for this one. So let's draw our shape. There's a straight line, straight line. Where is -1 on the x line? It's right there. So all I need to do is draw my line. I'm gonna do that in red. It'll be very helpful if you guys have different colors to help you so you don't get confused. Okay, let's label everything. So that's x, that's y. All right, let's plot some points down. We have -3 and -1. It's 1, 2, 3, -1. That is my point V. I have -3 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 2. So that's right there. And there's my letter Z. I have G, which is -1 and 3. -1 and 3. 1, 2, 3. Which is right there. I'm going to call that G. And my last one is 1, 1. So I'll be right there. So all we need to do now is connect our shape. Oops, let's do this one. And there we go. We have our shape. All we need to do now is count some spaces over. I'm going to do this in the color blue so you guys can see. Now, because this letter G is on the line, it just stays the exact same way. All right, this one's going to be a little bit more confusing, but all you guys got to do is make sure you're counting your spaces. So how far is M from the red line? It's 2 spots, isn't it? So it means all we need to do is count 2 spots the other way, like this. 1, 2. So my new M is going to be right there, and that's going to be M prime. How far is Z from the red line? That's 2 spots. So that's my new spot for letter Z. So I'm going to put Z right there. I'm going to call that Z prime. How far is this V from the red line? We got 1, 2. So again, it's going to be 1, 2 right there. we got V prime, and I think we have 4 dots. All we need to do now is connect all of our shapes, our lines, points, I mean, and there we go. We have our new shape. All right, let's finish these last 2 out. The rules. Now, what do you guys notice about question number 11? It looks like it's a mirror, but where is it? Is it on the Y line? Is it on the X line? It's not. It's in neither of those. Well, doesn't it look like it's almost perfectly in the middle right there? That's 1 spot away. That's 1 spot. Let's do it in different colors. That's 1 spot away. That's 1 spot away. This one is 3 spots away. That's 1 spot away, and then this one's 3 spots away. So what's the rule for this one? This would be, so if this is my normal line, what point is this right there? That would be -2. So this one will be x equals -2. That is your formula for this one. So notice that's my point. That is my line of reflection. Let's try another one. So let's see, how far is this one from 1, 2, this one's 1, 2. So it looks like this is the center point for this. So it looks like it did a reflection across the y-axis. So then the rule for this one is just reflect across the what? Y-axis. Okay, let's try another one. What do you guys notice about this one? This point stays exactly the same. So I believe our line of intersection is right there, our line of reflection. So what point is that? Is on here. So that would be my x would equal -2. All right, let's try our last one. All right, this one looks like it's 1 away. That looks like it's 1 away. So it looks like my line is going right here down the middle. What number is that? So it looks like that's on the 2 spot of the x. So my x equals 2 for this one. Okay, the best way I can recommend you guys to doing this is try to find where the mirror is and where it's trying to repeat itself, right? So it looks like this one is just 1 away, and then these ones are 3 away like this. So I just kind of found out that this line is in the middle. I find out, all right, what point is that on the x line? Well, that's at +2, right? So then my formula is just x equals +2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we do reflection.